Yo guys, Nimbus here, and today I will be creating an up-to-date guide on link skills in MapleStory. I know the link skills system seems really daunting and complex, so I've made this guide to help you new players get started. You can literally just follow this guide and you'll be golden, so I hope you find this useful. If you guys find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My goal is to get to 100 subs by the end of May, so each sub counts, and I really appreciate it. Alright, let's get into it. So, each class in MapleStory comes with a link skill. They're account-wide buffs that can be shared with any character you have on your account, and they give really nutty stats for free. They're the most time-efficient and cheapest way to get damage on your account, and it's what I recommend each new player start off with. So, you unlock link skills on each character. When a class reaches level 70, you get the first level. When it reaches level 120, you get the second level, and not all skills, but some go to level 3, and level 3 link skills are unlocked at level 210. So the most efficient thing to do as a new player trying to build out your link skills is to just create the class and do the main story quest, and then you can just follow the main story quest all the way to level 130, and once you hit level 130, you can stop right there and park the class. So the reason we park them at level 130 is because during events, you get something called extreme growth potions. And these are potions you can put on characters that are level 130 to 200, and each time you consume one of these potions on a character, it gives them a bunch of levels for free. In MapleStory events, they give out these potions like candy. In the current event, which is the Victoria Cup event, they're giving out 10 potions a day, up to 100 max for the event period, and on average, it takes 18 to 25 extreme growth potions to get a character to level 200, depending on your luck. And so, just from this one event, that's already 2 to 3 characters to level 200 for free. From here, you can use EXP tickets that you get from events to get your character to level 210, and again, these come from events for free, and on average, it costs around 5,000 EXP tickets to get a character to level 210. So, in my opinion, this guide has the best, most efficient way for creating link skills. There's 2 different archetypes of link skills. There's farming link skills, and there's bossing link skills. And you want to do the farming link skills first because this will allow you to get strong enough to start doing the bossing ones more efficiently. And link skills are kind of like a compounding effect where when you're starting off, building up these characters, getting them to level 130 is really slow because they're kind of weak, but each time you add a new link skill to your account, the next time you create a character, it becomes even faster and faster and faster and faster until you start gliding through everything like butter. There are some link skills that are better than others, but the classes that are attached to these link skills are sometimes harder to train. So I've created this guide with that in mind, and I've created it to be what I think is as efficient as possible.
Nice.
And without further ado, let's get to the first class you should make when you're building out your link skills. The first class is Kana. This class is really strong on its own, so it's really easy to level up. Kana's link skill is called Elementalism. This link skill gives you 5% damage at level 1 and 10% damage at level 2. Kana also gives you boss damage from their Legion blocks. This is a really good class to build out no matter what. The second class for you is going to be Arc. Arc is another really strong class on its own, so it's really easy to train. It also comes with one of the best link skills in the game. Arc's link skill is called Solace. And so this link skill gives you 5% damage at level 1, 10% damage at level 2, and 15% damage at level 3.
Hey boss!
After you finish making Arc, you're going to want to make a Demon Avenger or DA. DA is another class that's really easy to level up and gives you a really good link skill. It also gives you boss damage from DA's Legion blocks, so it's another class you definitely want to build out. So DA's link skill is called Wild Rage. At level 1, it gives you 5% damage, at level 2, it gives you 10% damage, and at level 3, it gives you 15% damage. After you're done DA, Arc, and Kana, you're going to want to start making your Mercedes. Mercedes has by far the most important link skill for farming, and the reason why we do Kana, Arc, and Demon Avenger first before Mercedes is because the class is really weak to train. But again, it is by far the most important link skill that you can get while training. And so Mercedes' link skill is called Elven Blessing. And at level 1, it gives you 10% bonus EXP passively. At level 2, it's 15% bonus EXP. And at level 3, it's 20% bonus EXP. And again, this is passively. So every time you kill a mob, it just prints you an extra 20% EXP each time you hit it. So it's super important. It's super worth it. It makes every following character 20% faster to train. and the only reason it's not number 1 is again because the class is super weak early game, and that's why we try and offset that by doing the first 3 link skills and then Mercedes. The next class after Mercedes is going to be Lara.
Damn!
Lara is super chill to train, super easy. You just run around spawning in mobs that hit stuff for you with your veins. Lara's link skill is called Nature's Friend, and it gives you bonus damage while farming. At level 1 it's 10%, and at level 2 it's 16%. After Lara, you're going to want to train up in Evan. So Evan is probably the worst training experience ever, but the link skill on it is so good. It's probably even better than Mercedes conditionally. So the skill is called Rune Persistence, and it increases the duration of how long a rune lasts. So runes are these things that spawn every 15 minutes on the map, and they temporarily give you a 2x EXP buff. And so at max level, Evan's link skill essentially gives you a bonus 34% bonus EXP while training, but because you guys are doing the MSQ to get these characters to level 130, it's not as important. But when you're training later on and you're pushing later levels, it is pretty much a functional 34% bonus EXP while training. So the reason we do it so late, even after Lara, even though it gives you so much EXP while training, is because it is so cancer to train, but just like Mercedes, we need it. After Evan, you're going to want to do Ilium. So Ilium is a little tricky to train, not because it's a weak class, but because their mechanics a little unique, but it's not bad once you get used to it. And so their link skill is called Tides of Battle, and it gives you 6% damage while moving around at level 1, and it gives you 12% damage while moving around at level 2, but you're always moving around while you're training anyway, so it's pretty much just permanently 6 or 12% bonus damage. After Ilium, the next class we're going to want to train is Ho Young. So Ho Young is another class that is super easy to train and gives you a great link skill for mobbing. Their link skill is called Bravado. So it gives you 5% IED and 9% damage against full HP mobs at level 1, and at level 2 it's 10% IED and 14% damage against full HP mobs. So because Bravado gives you bonus damage against mobs that are full HP, it's kind of like sprinkles on a cupcake, where you need all the damage to be able to one-shot, and if you're close, Ho Young will give you that damage over the edge. And again, the damage bonus only applies when the mobs are at full HP, so this is pretty much for one-shotting or two-shotting, but again, it's really nice to have, and it's really useful, especially when you're trying to train and you're in range to be able to two-shot or one-shot. So after Ho Young's done, we're going to want to do Phantom next. So Phantom is a lot weaker of a class to train up, but by this point it should be a breeze because we already have so many link skills done. And so their link skill is called Phantom Instinct, and at level 1 it gives you 10% crit rate, at level 2 it gives you 15% crit rate, and at level 3 it gives you 20% crit rate. After Phantom, we're going to want to do Kinesis next, and so their skill is called Judgment. At level 1 it gives you 2% crit damage, and at level 2 it gives you 4% crit damage. Now, I know 4% crit damage doesn't sound like a lot, but crit damage is actually one of the best stats you can get in MapleStory. To put it into perspective, 8% crit damage is the same as 30% stat on a piece of equipment. So crit damage is super worth it. It is pretty much 15% stat. So with this, we've gotten all what I would consider the mandatory link skills for mobbing done, and there's still 2 more slots because you get 12 slots when we're assigning link skills. So I have come up with a list of classes that I think have really good link skills, and I would consider these all flex. So you could pick any 2 of these and you'd be good to go. It's mainly a preference thing. So the first class we have is Kali. Kali's link skill is called Innate Gift. And so what this does is it gives you 3% damage and a periodic percent health heal when you're hitting things.
Nice.
The next class is Kane, and their link skill is called Time to Prepare. The link skill is kind of complex, and I'll just read it off to you here. At level 1, it reads, after completing Time to Prepare at least 1 time, then upon either defeating 8 enemies or attacking a boss 5 times, damage increases by 9% for 20 seconds. For every 5 times you stack Time to Prepare, cooldown 40 seconds. So it does give you damage, it's just a little convoluted, I guess, but it is very much viable and usable. My only thing is there's only like 50% uptime on this ability, so that is something to consider. And then at level 2, the damage goes from 9% to 17%. Another class you can consider is Xenon, and their link skill is called Hybrid Logic. So at level 1, it just gives you 5% all stat. At level 2, it gives you 10% all stat. Really simple. By this point, each class should be a breeze to train because of all of our newfound link skills. So the priority on this list will cover which link skills will give you the most damage against bosses, with the first one being the most important and the priority going in descending order afterwards. Number 1 is going to be Luminous with Light Wash. So at level 1 it gives you 10% IED, at level 2 it gives you 15% IED, at level 3 it gives you 20% IED. So when you're first starting out as a new player, Ignore Enemy Defense, or IED, is a stat that is really hard to come by. Bosses in MapleStory have armor, and IED is the equivalent to armor penetration stats. So you deal significantly less damage to bosses if you do not have enough IED, which is why you want as much of it as possible, up until around 93%, and then the later game bosses it gets higher, but 93% is a good spot to aim for when you're just starting out. The second class is going to be Demon Slayer. Their link skill is super simple. It's called Fury Unleashed. At level 1, it gives you 10% boss damage, level 2 is 15% boss damage, and level 3 is 20% boss damage. This is quite literally the best stat for bossing, hence the name boss damage, and Fury Unleashed gives you the most boss damage out of all the link skills. So number 3, this is a new link skill we just got, Mo Xuan Key Cultivation. So this class just came out, so the wiki isn't up to date, but I already finished my Mo Xuan and got it to level 210, and so right now it's giving us 16% boss damage. And again, boss damage equals good, and 16% is quite a lot, so it's a super high priority link skill. So the next one is going to be Lin with Focus Spirit. At level 1, it gives you 4% boss, 4% crit rate. At level 2, it gives you 7% boss, 7% crit rate. At level 3, 10% boss, 10% crit rate. Again, boss damage equals good, and this is more boss damage. Another thing is a lot of early game players struggle to hit 100% crit, so this is another way just to get you some more crit. So after Lin, you want to make Angelic Buster. Angelic Buster is link skills called Terms and Conditions. At level 1, it's plus 60% skill damage for 10 seconds. At level 2, it's 90% skill damage for 10 seconds. And at level 3, it's 120 skill damage for 10 seconds. So for 10 seconds, you're essentially doubling your damage. This is an active skill you'll have to bind to your keyboard to activate. You use this skill when you're bursting bosses, and it is more than double your damage for a 10-second window, and it is huge for bossing. The duration of terms and conditions also is affected by buff duration, so that's something to just keep in the back of your mind. And this is super mandatory for bossing. Literally every class runs this. Number 6 for early game players is definitely going to be Explorer Mages. And so the Explorer Mages have a link skill called Empirical Knowledge. And so this skill technically has 6 levels, with 2 levels coming from each of the Explorer Mages. And the Explorer Mages are Ice Lightning, Fire Poison, and Bishops. So the stats only increase every 2 additional levels, which means you'll need to get 2 Explorer Mage link skills to level 2 and 1 to level 5 for most of the full link skills effects. So it reads at level 1, when attacking, has a 15% chance to identify the weakness of the enemy with the highest max HP among those struck, granting you the following bonuses against them. So damage per stack, 1%, enemy defense ignored, per stack, 1%, effect duration 10%, stacks up to 3 times. So it's functionally 3% damage and 3% IED, but at level 5 it goes up to 9% damage and 9% IED. And so you'll be hitting bosses enough for the chance to apply debuff become negligible. And again, this is a debuff, so as you hit it, this just slowly gets applied. So this will bring you to 12 link skills here, and this is what I would recommend in that priority. The reason we put the Explorer Mages at the last part is because you have to do 3 of them, so it's going to be a slog, but IED is really important, so I do really recommend this for early game players, but obviously there are other options too. So once you start getting more of these stats from Legion and other sources like equipment, set effects, you can start replacing redundant link skills with auxiliary ones. So two of the most common stats you'll be able to easily get from Legion and from other just auxiliary sources are going to be crit rate and also going to be IED. But when you're early game, these stats are really hard to come by and really important, but they become abundant as you progress through the game. So you're going to want to start replacing redundant stats like crit rate, like IED with these auxiliary ones. And again, these are completely flex, so you can pick whichever ones seem like they'll give you the most damage. It's completely up to you. So the first one is Cadena. Cadena's link skill is called Unfair Advantage. At level 1, it reads off like this: attacks against weaker opponents deal 3% damage. Attacks against monsters afflicted by abnormal statuses deal 3% damage. So at level 1 it's functionally 6% damage, and at level 2 it goes up to functionally 12% bonus damage. And what abnormal statuses are literally any debuff, so even like the Explorer Mage link skill counts as a debuff, so this would proc off of that too. but most classes do have their own debuffs. When fighting bosses, you will almost always be a higher level than them, so it'll also trigger the bonus damage. You don't really have to worry about that part. The next flex class is going to be Adele, and their link skill is Noble Fire. So it's pretty simple. You get 2% boss damage at level 1, and it increases by 1% up to 4% depending on party size. At level 2, it's 4% boss damage, increasing by 2% up to 8%, so 12 total, depending on party size. And this link skill is only good if you're in a party with 5 or more people. If not, there are definitely better options. The final flex one is going to be Explorer Thief, and their link skill is called Thief's Cunning. So at level 1, it reads, upon debuffing an enemy, deal 3% bonus damage, duration 10 seconds, cooldown 20 seconds. So this link skill has about a 50% uptime here. And at level 6, it increases damage by 3% up to 18%. So this link skill works very similar to Explorer Mage link skill, and you'll have to get all 3 Explorer Thieves to level 2 link skill for the max effect. I know the link skill system can seem really confusing, so I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll be making more up-to-date guides for new players, so if you guys want more of this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want me to create a guide on a specific system, let me know in the comments below, and I'll probably do whichever one has the most likes for the next guide. Again, I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. I've been posting for a couple of weeks now, and we're already at 50 subs, so it really means a lot, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video.